Hi all, and welcome to our presentation, Understanding AI Adoption in Project Management, the Interplay of Knowledge, Usage and Strategic Perception. We are Aco Momčilović and Rebeka Daniela Vlahov from Zagreb, Croatia. This presentation will include several different parts, so we will start with the introduction, then continue with research methodology and sample, empirical evidence, research results and discussion, and conclude with key insights. So growing complexity, which includes not only data overload, but also the need for real-time decision-making and dynamic project requirements, focus on sustainability and the necessity for effectiveness and agility of contemporary projects and project-oriented organizations, put into focus artificial intelligence, which is also becoming increasingly important because it can change traditional practices and improve the way projects are first of all estimated, then planned, implemented, and the whole time monitored. This can help in creation of agile, productive, and competitive business that can have competitive advantage in the market. However, mechanisms behind the individual adoption of artificial intelligence is still poorly understood. What I mean is how project professionals form an intent, how they change the perceptions, and how they progress through AI-driven digital maturity of organizations. We found that cognitive models can clarify to some extent how individuals process new information about technology and how this in the end correlates with their prior knowledge and experience and then influence decision about the adoption of the technology. Some of the models are theory of planned behavior, technology acceptance model, technological organizational environmental framework, diffusion of innovation, and unified theory of acceptance and use of technology. Some of them, for example, TEM, is focused on the organizational level. However, others like DOI partially, as well as TAM, TPB, and unified model are showing how individuals are forming their decisions about technology adoptions and different factors that might influence their final decision whether they are going to adopt technology or not. It can be, for example, usefulness of how easy it is to adopt it, how useful it is, what is their intention, what are the social influences, etc. However, all these models treat adoption as a largely static cognitive decisions, and they are not having in mind the maturity of pathways that are shaped by knowledge, by early use, or evolving perceptions of the individuals. And this appears to be very important because understanding the current landscape of artificial intelligence adoption in project management will become essential in delivering, first of all, immediate benefits, however, also in establishing a foundation for broader integration, acceleration, and realization of the full potential of the artificial intelligence. Therefore, the aim of this paper is to examine the maturity and dynamics of AI adoption, and we as authors assume that progression is path-dependent, and the knowledge of AI concepts and application increase the likelihood of early usage. Then the usage reshapes cognitive perceptions of the value, and then in the end, strategic perception is there to significantly drive future adoption intentions. In order to address the research gap that we found and examine the AI adoption likelihood at the level of individual, we constructed three main research questions. So the first one is how the knowledge levels of AI concepts and application influence support preferences for integration. Then how the usage shape perceived value of AI in project management processes. And last question, how do perceived contributions and usage interact to shape adoption likelihood of the AI in project management processes? In order to answer those research questions, we designed a specific questionnaire and conducted the quantitative empirical research. Our questions were divided into 5 broad domains. So first of all, the current knowledge and interest in AI, which include familiarity with concepts and tools, interest in various areas of application of AI in project management. Then the AI usage, which included integration of AI tools into project management processes right now, constraints and challenges in adopting AI tools in their workflows, drivers for adoptions, which included motivators, operational efficiency, competitive advantage, and last but not least, the future perspectives for the use of AI. So the probability of integration of AI technologies in project management, and also the necessary resources that are going to support this integration. During the research, we followed all the ethical principles, which included anonymity, the right to express own opinions, voluntariness, and the right to withdraw from the research. And our population included project professionals within the International Project Management Association, or IPMA community, because we wanted to ensure that we have different perspectives, experiences from a diverse group of respondents at different levels of their current career paths, as well as providing insights into the integration of artificial intelligence into different project management practices. The sample included in the end 345 professionals, and just a couple of characteristics. Most of them were in the roles of project directors, senior project managers, program and portfolio managers, and in diverse roles we had roles like project analysts, project controllers, PMOs, agile project managers or scrum masters, and consultants and trainers. Most of the respondents had 15 or more years of experience in the project management area, more than 50% of them, followed by 11 to 15, 6 to 10, and then less than 10 years of experience, which also shows that our respondents are professionals in the field. They have rich practical knowledge and potential insights into different previous technological shifts and developments.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, for this very effective overview of the first part. I'm going to conclude with results and what we think is the contribution of this research. So first of all, we examined how knowledge shapes integration needs. So we find a clear segmentation. On one hand, lower knowledge individuals demand structured support, it's training, certification, or mentorship. But in contrast, the high knowledge individuals show almost no interest in training. So only 6%, as you can see also here on this slide. And they instead prioritize tools, integration, and strategic alignment. So this suggests that resistance is not the issue, but basically misalignment of support is, which is, as you're going to see, one of the interesting conclusions. So as for the next hypothesis, we analyzed how usage affects perception. So among users, 91.5% perceive AI as strategic compared to only 80.6% of non-users. So more importantly, regression results show that users are more than twice as likely to perceive AI as strategic capability. This is critical. Usage does not just increase familiarity, it fundamentally changes how AI is cognitively framed. And then finally, we tested what actually drives adoption. So individuals who perceive AI strategically have significantly higher adoption scores. Regression results visible on this slide also confirm that strategic perception is the strongest predictor of adoption. Importantly, usage alone is not significant. This means that simply using AI tools does not lead to adoption. It must be cognitively reframed as strategically valuable. So basically, to put it all together, we observe a sequential mechanism. Knowledge drives usage, usage reshapes perception, and then perception drives adoption. Additionally, the interaction between usage and perception significantly strengthens adoption. So as you can see here on this visual that we created to kind of make it more simple. So the key takeaway from our research is, I would say, very simple but important. AI adoption is not driven by exposure to tools, but by how individuals interpret their strategic value. Maybe to put it in some kind of metaphor, to remember it, through simple analogy, learning AI is like learning to drive. Knowledge is learning the rules. Usage is driving the car. But real adoption happens only when you understand the system, the traffic, the dynamics, and the strategy. So without that, usage basically remains mechanical. These findings suggest that organizations should not treat AI adoption as a single intervention, but as a stage maturity process. For professionals, the shift is from tools usage to strategic thinking. And for all institutions, this implies basically that redefining competence frameworks leads towards the strategic AI literacy. As a final conclusion, we would say that AI adoption in project management is not a function of usage alone. It is a cognitive pathway where knowledge, experience, and perception interact to shape adoption decisions. And with that, I would thank you for your attention and finish this presentation. Thank you, Rebeka, also.
Thank you.